This is another one. I have a ton of these, by the way. I think of this stuff all the time because, my brain doesn't stop. I get insomnia sometimes when I can't stop thinking, or it's usually a song stuck in my head. Like I'll hear a new song by like Radiohead, who I'm really big on right now, and it'll just play in my head for hours. Instead of going to sleep, I'll just hear that song over and over. It's crazy. So anyway, one of the things that's been repeatedly beat into my head, and I'm sure that, I can't talk today. Your attitude determines everything, right? It's supposed to be dismissed as, antiquated tomfoolery. Nobody takes that seriously, right? So years after doing everything my way, I actually tried to just do things other people's way to see, what happens. Like, for instance, it's not that I have a bad attitude. I'm actually a pretty positive person all the time. Like, strangely enough, like, I'm positive all the time, even when bad things happen. It's really weird. I generally care for other people, and I want everybody in the entire world to have a good day. I want everybody to get ahead and everybody to succeed and not get hurt and not get into struggles and all that shit, but it's not the way the world works. But I really do want that for everybody. It's wishful thinking, even though I know it's not possible. Everyone deserves respect and help and all that shit. I've never put myself above anybody. I mean, we're all just carbon-based life forms. We're all pretty much the same. I'm good at some things that you're not. You're good at things that I'm not. I mean, that's just the way life is. And nobody's better, really. I try to walk around and not rock the boat. Like, I try to keep the pond still. Like, I don't like to cause problems amongst friends and that. I don't like to get into people's faces. If I'm mad at somebody, I'll tell them, but I don't do it in a mad way at all. Like, even if they really do something bad, it's not my bit to yell at somebody for something. Just even when I'm ranting, I'm a pretty calm guy. Like, I don't freak out because we don't need that. Life's angry and violent enough that we should be able to just talk about everything and never have to raise your voice and never have to swing a fist or anything like that. So anyway, I try to kind of sneak through life and, not rock the boat. I don't like confrontation and that type of thing, even though I'm getting better than I used to be. On my own for years, I've been focused on who cares about my attitude, right? It doesn't matter. If life is just a bunch of science without any, God, no religion, no luck, no weird anything, it shouldn't really matter what I feel, right? Like, I could be the most fucking evil shit stain on the face of the planet and treat everybody like a dog ass and still be the luckiest and happiest person ever, right? I could be the most negative, cranky asshole and still have great things happen, couldn't I? Like, it shouldn't really matter. I should be able to pick up girls, like, whether I'm in the best mood of my life or the worst mood of my life, or no matter what my attitude is, things should still just happen, but it's really not that way. Like, for instance, with girls, I had a really bad streak for a while, like 7 years without a girlfriend. I mean, it's not like I didn't, occasionally have fun with girls and that type of thing, but I really wanted a girlfriend. I was tired of, only seeing a girl maybe going on a date every 6 months or every year. It's all because of my attitude, because I wanted to be with a girl, so I couldn't be with a girl, as stupid as that is. And when you're frustrated with something, it just becomes harder, it becomes like impossible. And if you stop and actually kind of look at the way you think of things and maybe think they're not actually correct, like I had my buddy John sit me down and say, you realize you keep losing in poker all the time, you're really mad about that, like, because I would just lose and lose and lose for hours. Like, you'd figure once in a while, this seat right here should have a lucky hand, right? Should be able to win once or get lucky just once in a while, but it would just lose and lose and lose and lose, and I'd get really frustrated. Like, it's just, even though it's only a $5 game or whatever, it still pisses me off that if it's not worth anything, why can't I just win it anyway, you know what I mean? So anyway, what I mean is, I used to put a lot of stock into luck. Sometimes I'm lucky, most of the time I'm not. But when I stopped believing in it, in this polar force, it lost its stock, and it stopped having so much control over me. I basically was building my own prison. The thing with girls is unbelievable. I mean, I wanted them, and I could never be at the right place at the right time, and I never, ever, ever ended up with the girl I wanted, or even most of the time ended up with a girl at all. As soon as I said, yeah, you know what, I'm a bit lonely right now, I think I'd like some company, that's when girls would just disappear, never see one. Like, as soon as I need something, they're gone, right? So I decided to change my perception. Instead of my just getting by, don't shake the boat type of thing. I got bored at work and I tried to think of something new. And then I was halfway through my day and I thought, you know what, I'm going to just fuck around just because. I'm going to look at girls, I'm going to smile to myself knowing that I've got a 10-inch cock, right? I mean, mine's 8 inches and a half as is, which is huge, but, 10, that's pretty big. So I look over the crowd at the call center and I'm just thinking, I could outfight every single guy in this whole place. I could outlast with exercise, I could do 1,000,000 push-ups, I could beat everybody. I could beat everybody all at once. Thinking this to myself, I make $100,000 a year, might as well just go crazy, right? Just say I've got everything, right? So I'm not putting anybody down, I'm just saying I stand above the crowd, and the minute I started doing that, girls started looking at me like they're just sitting there minding their own business, like, ooh, what was that? Like, just right off the bat, it was amazing. I couldn't even believe it. It wasn't even a minute before I started doing that before everybody started noticing. It's really weird. I was like putting out this vibe. It was amazing. I'm a guy who's pretty magnetic as is. Like, you ask people that know me, and I pick up friends like that. Like, I don't even have to try. I'll get into an elevator, and there's a person there, and he'll just start talking to me. And before we hit the top floor, or wherever we're going, he's telling me his life story, and people just do that to me. They just open right up to me, and they almost like they know they can trust me, and they just go. Like, I don't know. It's really strange. People get a very good first impression of me right off the bat as a general rule. Even as a kid, I noticed I'm like, 5 and 6, and my mom's having a huge party, and I come out into the living room, and, my mom's telling me, go to bed, and they're all like, no, just let them hang out here, it's not a big deal. And they're all like, looking at me all the time, and always making sure I'm laughing. Like, basically, this is the way life has been ever since I can remember. Everyone's always looking at me, and always, like, making sure I'm laughing, and sharing the joke with me, and not everybody else. It's like, it's always that way, and some days it's ridiculous. I almost feel like telling people, like, quit paying attention to me for 5 minutes, please. Anyway, they're always trying to see my reaction is basically what's happening. Life's been pretty much like that since I was a kid. I walk in somewhere just feeling neutral and just not really, whatever, and then everyone just looks at me, and if I want that attention, I can't have it. Like, I'll walk in, and guys, I'm cool today. Do you guys want to, like, have fun with me? And they're just like, nah, whatever. Let me see. Oh yeah, that when I started building myself up in my head, girls that would never look at me were giving me some serious double takes. It's like they could smell it, like they just knew I was special then. As a side note, I have no ego problem. I've never thought of myself better than anyone. I'm smarter than a lot of people, but that's just a cliff note. I mean, when we're all dead, does that make any difference? I know most people are, okay perceptually, like they don't mind, they're not, like, bad on themselves. I know, being a guy who has been very depressed in the past, just because, just something bad happened when I was a kid. I think we moved and I got depressed, and, was depressed for a couple of years, then after that I was fine, like, forever. It's very easy to beat up on yourself. I know, I've done that forever. Like, I said something stupid like 10 years ago, and I hit myself for it. Oh, why did I say that? It's just a lame joke or bad timing or whatever. I'm like, it doesn't matter. So what this whole rant is just that, try this one day. Go on your job if you're going to meet some new friends or whatever. If you like that girl you've always liked or that guy you've always liked, just think in your head, I'm a sex magnet. Everybody should want me. Like, I have $1 million in the bank account. I could fight anybody and win. Just think that. Just see if the same thing happens to you as happened to me. Maybe I'm just crazy. Maybe I'm just, maybe. I don't know.